most important things that you could ever do. And they know. Some days, I'm more wolf than woman, and I'm still learning how to stop apologizing for my wild. Welcome, wanderer of thought, to the garden of the mind, where dreams take root and seeds of awakening are sown. Here, we talk about everything from spiritual awakening, energy, astral travel, all the way to the collective energy, parenting starseeds, psychic gifts, addiction, and the human experience. What it means to truly ascend, from the magic to the mess, and how we are all navigating and alchemizing our way through it. A place where we have the space to remember who we truly are. I'm your host, Mandy Hayes. Welcome to Brain Flowerz. Let's get to it.
We are recording.
All right, I have got Mandy here on this next episode. I don't even know what number it is. I would have to actually look at my podcast to see. I know I started a new season.
Nice.
And we're going to talk about a couple interesting things. Some of the stuff we talked about with her last time, with I don't know what you call it, like parallel, where she had like another incarnation and it's a Palladian body. And there was some interesting stuff that I've worked with clients that have had similar experiences with that. And then also maybe touch on sleep paralysis experiences. And she's also recording for her podcast.
I am. So, for all of my fellow podcast listeners here for Brain Flowerz, I'm talking to the amazing Megan Fortin today, and she has her own podcast called Soul Currents. So, this episode will be on her podcast as well. And we just like to get together and talk about cool shit.
Yeah, shit that you can't talk about with anybody else.
Right. So this should be really fun.
Yes. Yeah. So, touching back on the last episode with you where we were talking about that you were having these experiences in this life or this reality, but it was actually because of yourself in this other incarnation in a different body. And these experiences that you would have. And so in the soul realignment, there's in the level 3, there's parallels. So we all exist, our soul comes in probably more than one reality at a time, because there's no way that we can experience all of ourselves just here.
Right.
So when we are incarnated in another place doing whatever, there are times where our soul vibration is the same as the one in a different carnation.
Okay.
Or incarnation, not carnate. I don't know what the word is, but you know what I'm saying.
It's starting to bend with the hands and the
Yeah.
I
So
understand.
if you could see me, they're level, they're at the same level. So you're both experiencing, it's almost like an overlap of time, because you're experiencing what you're experiencing here, she's experiencing what she's experiencing there, but there's some part of you that your soul vibrations are the same.
Yeah.
So you're both, it's
bleeding into
it's like a bleed into.
Yeah.
And so when that happens, you'll experience karma in things that are related to the other life in this life. And there is literally no connection as to why it's happening here, because it's not here. It's from there.
Right.
So, and you could maybe even almost try to look at it as if parallels don't make sense in your mind, time doesn't exist. So it could be you in a different timeline or lifetime.
Right. So for example, in the soul retrieval, when there is a portal to a past life that lead through, is that similar?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so but except past life, like I always, like when I do those, I'm like, is it really past life though? Because it could be a future life. Because time doesn't exist.
Exactly, yeah.
So it's a life, but there's a bleed within those lives because of the frequencies are the same. And there's a match of frequencies. And it also feels like somehow they blend together into one. So like I don't know how to describe it other than it's like fragmented parts of ourselves that are experiencing something different on a different reality for whatever reason. Whatever's happening right now in the collective or the energy, it's like they're all coming to one. Not that those other ones won't exist, but they'll exist in a different timeline. Like it doesn't make sense to explain it, but in my mind I'm like, oh yeah, that makes total sense. Like, yeah, I get it.
Like everything's kind of coming to a head.
Yes.
Therefore, it's like breaking through a new threshold to move to it somewhere.
Yes, to higher frequencies. So
right.
Like the stuff that's happening, like I had a client just recently where she had a similar bleed through experience, and she was experiencing memories and things that were her, but it was not this reality. Like she had 2 sessions with me like this, and the first one she was like, I kept seeing, like, I'm like, it's like you have like weird webbed mermaid feet kind of thing. I'm like, this is fucking weird. I sound ridiculous saying this. And she's like, no, it's right, because I see these weird like people, but they're like underwater, and it's like this underwater world, and like she was like some kind of weird like slave or something, and we couldn't figure out the details because sometimes that doesn't matter. Right. It's more of like, what do we need to work on to clear, because this is obviously very uncomfortable. And she had all these things come up, and she was like, I remember it, it's like it's real and whatever. So we had to clear the stuff that was like in the way of her. It was affecting her here now. And like, but then I'll get people asking like, so which reality is the most important one? Like
the one that you're
focused
in on right now.
Yeah, this one. This is the one you're in. So this is the one that is most important, that's leading you to completion, or not even completion, like full completion of the self.
Yeah. Like
not like completing your journey, but like all parts become one and they all connect. And like the way it's explained in the soul realignment is good, but it misses like a spiritual wholesomeness about it.
Right.
It's more of like matter of fact, like you have this many parallels that exist based off physics. And I'm like, yeah, but physics also doesn't make any fucking sense. So I don't know if that's actually true, because they haven't been able to actually prove that it's true, because nothing in physics makes any sense. That's the whole reason why it's physics. Like, it just doesn't make sense. So it's almost like if you were to think like there's an aspect of yourself that's living this other reality to experience something, and you're living here to experience something, and there's karma and experiences that are happening there. Well, if you go into clear stuff, and sometimes maybe even when I'm body coding and clearing stuff, it has nothing to do with this reality. It's something from a fragmented part that needs to be integrated into this one here.
Right.
So that could be happening with the Palladium body that needs to integrate into this one.
Yeah, so it was really interesting. After you and I had that last podcast episode, it was a couple days later, but I went in and did a cord cutting with her.
Yeah.
And it was like, it's always weird, because it's always unique. It's always different, no matter who it is that you're doing the cord cutting with.
Yeah.
But she was pregnant. And that was the first time that I had seen that.
Wow.
And just the whole, when you're going up like the hill and you're trying to get to the top of the hill, and then there's the the fence that's around the top of it.
Yeah,
You gotta open the gate and then close the gate behind you. And, like, the whole scape kept changing constantly. Like, it was difficult to get up there.
Yeah.
And then once I did, there was this whole series of events that happened after that. But I have to say, like, I have still been having, like, the bouts of vertigo with temporary, like, disassociation for, like, that moment. Yeah. And then it goes away. But, so I don't really know.
It almost feels like when that happens, it almost feels like, a collision of some sort. When you say, like, the temporary bouts of the vertigo and just, it, like, the what I'm seeing, it's literally, it reminds me of something else I saw in a reading that I was supposed to receive, but I ended up giving, I don't know how to explain. It was fucking weird.
The life of Megan.
Yeah, but it almost feels like the worlds are colliding into one. Mm-hmm. And that's what you're feeling. Because their reality has to come here in order to be in its full existence. So it's like, I'm having weird experiences lately where I'm like, okay, am I fucking losing my mind right now? Because I feel like I'm more of myself than I have been, like, more whole of myself. But I also feel like it's not that there's extra, but I feel like there's parts of me that I'm like, I know it's me, but I don't know where it came from.
Well, like, unlocking pieces of you as you are, like, I mean, you've been walking on this path for a long time, but, like, fully stepping into this path. Yeah. And not, like, this is what I do. Yeah. Hello, here I am. Yeah. You know, it being your entire being as a mother, as Megan at home, as Megan this is your job. Yeah. So, yeah. What I'm feeling from that is, like, there's pieces that are clicking into place within you, and then, like, once that door's unlocked and the click goes down, you're like, oh, there's another piece of me. Yeah. You know, I feel 100%. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I think that's kind of like what's happening maybe with you, with this other version of yourself, is she won't need to exist in that way and for much longer, because she will become integrated with this. Yeah. Because she is you. Yeah. And right now it's not fragmented, because that's not the right word. They're like, it's just an aspect that chose a different scape to live, but it needs to return because that reality is falling apart. And that's weird. I just heard that. They're like showing, like, that's the vertigo. Is because it's almost like these weird, like, frequencies that are hitting it that make their world shake. It reminds me of that Futurama episode. Did you ever watch that show?
Bits and pieces.
Well, there was this one where it was really something like it was a car key thing, but it was like the whole world was shaking. It was this, like, tone that would play, and then there was, like, an earthquake. But it was really because they were trying to find their lost car and they were hitting the button. But it reminds me of, like, the way it was, like, it's like this frequency hits it, but that reality is starting to dissipate.
That's so fucking weird, though. Because, okay, so, like, the last time that it happened, like, was 2 weeks ago. I was over at my best friend's sister Brandy's house, and we were with her sister when we went to go pick up some Mexican food, right? So we're walking up the stairs to the restaurant, and I had to, like, hold onto the railing for a second and just stop myself. And it's brief. It's, like, literally 2 seconds. Yes. But in those 2 seconds, I'm like, I'm Mandy. I'm okay. I'm here. But then you're, like, spinning and feel like you're going to fall, and then it just goes away.
It reminds me.
What the fuck?
Yeah, it reminds me of what, like, I experienced something. It's not a dizziness, and the only thing I can describe it is I feel like zap. All of a sudden, and I feel something in my head, and I'm like, what the fuck was that? And then it goes away instantly. And that's never happened to me in 2016. Mm-hmm. And whenever I have that happen, I check the Schumann, and there'll be a little blackout. And when we get the blackouts on the Schumann, it's a timeline shift.
What?
Yeah.
So, okay.
So that's part of what's happening. I have goosebumps all over.
like, okay, so I noticed that with solar flares, I get extremely tired, no fucking energy, can't do anything, blah, blah, blah. Schumann resonance spikes. I can't sleep, but I'm like, oh, let's go!
Yeah.
You know, so it's just so wild that, like, with the Earth's vibration spiking and, you know, having a lull or a blackout, which I've never even heard before, like, it affects us so intensely.
Yeah, I'm going to check Schumann right now because yesterday we had a ton of plasma coating coming in. And I sound like I know what I'm talking about. I don't know a whole lot. But this is
listening.
We'll have to put a picture of it. But this is what it looked like yesterday. The white is the solar flares, and that's plasma coating.
Oh, no way.
And what happens when we get a blackout is they're literally, like, obviously this isn't a blackout, but I'll just show you what it looks like on here. Like, there's a black spot there. That's just because time hasn't tracked it yet. But there'll be blackouts in the Schumann, and sometimes they're big, sometimes they're literal. There's been times where there was a really weird looking figure 8 type patterns for like a couple of days, and nobody knew what the fuck it was. And the people that they get this from Russia, and there's one in Italy, and they're it's literally just the machines, and they track the machines and they put it on the app. It's like $1 or something, and you can see what's happening. But the guy made this app for people like us so that we can see what the fuck is going on, because there's something hitting us. And we didn't start getting blackouts, I think, until 2016, which was when I started having those weird experiences. And when you get those weird hits, there is stuff happening on the Schumann.
That is fucking wild.
And I feel like, if I go back to this reading that I had a couple years ago, I obviously don't quote me on anything because this is not like scientific or religiously proven. But I saw that like our Earth, our reality, our planet is the one that is the real one, I guess. I don't know how else to describe it. It's like when we come from other places or whatever, that's different than this. Like we incarnate here to experience all the things that we need to experience because this is the only place that we can.
Yeah.
So this is the only reality that we can experience our divinity fully. Other places, it's like even in soul realignment, you can tell it's different. They don't have a lot of things that we have here.
Right.
Or like the Mintakans, like when it did exist, their planet was very different, and the way people lived was different.
Oh, right. Okay, so like not expecting anything bad from anybody.
Yes.
And blah, blah,
yeah. So they see things in a very different point of view, but here it's everything. This is the only place that can withhold all frequencies of all, incarnations from all places.
Right.
And so what, like, we were meant, this was the main place. This was supposed to be where we existed. And we kind of talked about this last time about, like, the deities. And so what happened, this is what I channeled in this reading, and I've channeled it before. And I'm like, I don't even know what it says in other books, but these deities supposedly wanted to create their own existence in their own places in reality. So they chose, and we kind of talked about that.
Yeah.
Created their own place, their own maybe world or reality or whatever. And sometimes it was here, sometimes it was in a different existence or plane or whatever. And it wasn't that they weren't allowed to, but they chose to. But it wasn't like necessarily, I don't want to say it wasn't God's will, because I feel like it was allowed. But those realities are unable to hold frequency because this is becoming the hub. Like, this is the hub.
Right.
And those are starting to dissipate because it has to be here.
Because more energy is being pulled here.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
Yeah, so those realities in existence are no longer able to hold frequencies.
Well, okay, so that makes sense with the way that I had received information about, like, the gods and goddesses.
Yeah.
So, like, when they were here. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. They came here, they were like kind of like a plasmic energetic body at first, like kind of physical, but couldn't stay here for a very long time until they started to they reproduced with the human species in order to create a physical vessel for them to be physically here for longer periods of time. But they were still, I just got chills all over. They were still tall. They were still different colored. They still had the energy about them to where they could manipulate energy. They could move objects. They could do all of these things, hence why people called them gods. But once people started, I don't know what you want to call it, religion came into play in all these different places, and then there were war over religion, and then I don't believe in your gods, and blah, 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 and then, people stopped believing in them. They stopped feeding them energy, therefore they kind of...
They had to go to other places to exist.
Exactly.
And some went with them, because otherwise those places wouldn't exist.
Right.
And so, even tapping into feeling it, it feels more like elemental is how it started versus, a being. It was more of an elemental energy that existed but wanted more.
Yes. Well, so the sun god.
Yeah.
The god of the ocean. All of those different things, which is why when scientists now look back in mythology and they're like, oh, well, they were just dumb and they prayed to this god so that, it would rain for their crops.
But it really did work because those beings almost feel like they were guardians of this land.
Yeah.
But this was their land. But I don't know why they wanted to... I almost feel like there's a sense that, we, the people, wanted them to be here so that we could have their power.
Huh.
Because I feel like they were able to exist in that form, in that way. I don't feel like they were unhappy to, their job was to serve. Like an angel, their job is to serve. They don't have a choice. I mean, I think some of them must have free will or wouldn't have Satan, but their job is to serve us in that way. So, even, I don't know why I'm connecting with whatever rain or whatever, but it's it is very happy to assist us because that is what it's here for. But I feel like there's a part of us that, tried almost, convince them, and maybe this is just a theory, but I don't know if that resonates.
It does, because as soon as you said that, it's oh, well, then you're trapped.
Yes! That's what it feels like. And then, because of that, I have goosebumps everywhere now. They got a bad rap that wasn't it. And it's almost like they're you didn't have to pray to us. You could have just asked. We would have done it anyway. We are not, whatever this one is that I'm connecting with, it's I never asked to be a god or to be worshipped. I just existed because I exist.
Right.
And I'm here because that's my job. If you see a tree, it gives you shade, and you could ask for it to give you shade, and maybe it would get bigger and give you more shade. But it doesn't care to become a person or to walk or to do whatever. But we convinced them that they would be more powerful and be able to help more people if they could.
Okay, well, so what just came to my mind was in Greek mythology, for example, whenever those gods or goddesses were upset by humans, they turned them into elemental things.
Yes.
Trees,
yes.
Sunflowers, crystals. I just got chills all over my life.
Yeah.
So it was reverse, oh yeah?
Yeah, yeah, because they're trying to, there was probably some lesson in there, now you have to do this. And I feel like there are still people or whatever that are stuck because they haven't quite figured out that the whole lesson behind it was to simply exist and give.
Yeah.
If you think of a crystal or a tree or whatever, they're not thinking, I wish the sun would go down because I'm hot. Or I really wish I could have a taco. Or whatever, they're not thinking that. Their intention is, I'm here to exist and I'm here to be. And others will come to me that need what I have to offer, but my job is to give.
I really, really love that. And it makes so much sense because when you look back in so many different types of mythology, even Native American mythology.
Yeah.
I was just listening to something about the Appalachian Mountains the other day from the Native American elders' perspective about that creation story.
Yeah.
And it's the same. They're all the same. Like
yeah.
Aphrodite, Kronos' penis got thrown into the ocean or whatever,
right.
and then Aphrodite arose on a shell.
Yeah.
Like the metaphors, yes, a lot of them are metaphors, but the back and forth between the elemental energy and the creation of humans and vice versa.
Yeah.
Like that makes it make sense.
Yeah, because like if you think of it as like, well, there's just the big God in the sky that is all, which maybe there is just, I think there is just one God, but why is that one God in many aspects? Right?
Right.
Like, why would it just be one thing? Why wouldn't it be all of them connected together in the elements and with all like a collective of energy?
Wow. So I just had like a little download real quick.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love talking to you. So with like God creating these different energies, say it's like the Titans.
Yeah.
Right? If we're going to keep on with this mythology.
Yeah.
So there's the Titans, and then there was the, I don't know what you would call them, like Zeus, Poseidon.
Yeah. Like just the
other Greek gods and goddesses,
yeah.
whatever. So there's like a hierarchy. Right?
Yeah.
But not just with Greek, they're, like how we talked about in Hindu religion.
Yeah, there's a hierarchy. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's that way in every religion, but it's like, okay, so if you're looking at it from a human standpoint, if the higher ups or the people who like knew way back then, those are the people who started the religion, be like, oh, well, we can create a hierarchy down here too, and that creates the separation. I take care of these people and they listen to me, and then that's it.
Yeah.
And that just makes so much sense because it just keeps continuing.
Right. And I'm like getting the question, like, was there really ever a hierarchy, or was it more of choice of I'm going to do this and then the other one? Like, I feel like in their point of view, they don't see it as that is above me.
Right. It's a human thing.
It's a human thing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because like then I'm getting like, okay, so that makes sense then if you go into like Jesus, if you go into the root of the Catholic Church, which created all Christianity, was that when Jesus came here, he simply came as a man.
Right.
And was chosen to also sacrifice himself in order to become the embodied version of Christ. But he wasn't Christ when he was a man.
Right.
He was just a man. But when I see him like talking to like they would call Father, but it was not just one thing. It was like a collective of the everything. And it was like, you can also do all of this. Like, I am not better than you. He watched their fate. Like, there was no hierarchy.
Right.
In that perspective. We created that hierarchy because it had to make sense to us on where do we exist to these people, or a tree is better than a house plant. Like, but it's not. It's all the same. Right. But we created that idea of this is more powerful than this, and then all of those stories were created about the mythology of the religion, which really behind all of it, most of it is just a bunch of bullshit.
So wild, man. Like, just so wild. And it's amazing because, I'm sure, obviously, there are a lot of like-minded people out there and a lot of people who you would be able to have this type of conversation with. But it's so nice and, like, refreshing to just bounce back and forth. You know what I mean? Because it's like, as I'm talking, like, I don't know what? I don't know if this is fact.
I have no idea, so I said, don't quote me.
Got dropped down into my head, and then I bounce an idea off of you, and then the same thing happens to you, and you bounce yours right off mine. So that's just amazing.
Yeah, we don't know
we have no idea.
Don't quote me on this. Don't be like, actually based off the theological teachings of blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I don't fucking know.
Like, but it feels right.
Yeah.
And you know what's crazy? So when I was, I don't know if you remember me telling you that I had this like 2-week period where I was just, these pamphlets about Jesus kept like coming to me. Oh, people would hand them to me. I'd find them on the ground by my feet in random places for like 2 weeks straight.
Oh my God.
Right? And so I'm at the hair salon in Millington, and I love all the women there. Are like super, super nice. I'm bringing my son to go get a perm. It's a new thing.
I've never heard that one.
Yeah.
Going back to the 80s hair? Like
he looks really great. He does.
Really?
He does.
Oh, good.
I was a little nervous, but like he knows what he's doing. That's fine. Live your best life, child. And so he's doing his thing, and I sat down, and I literally looked down at my feet, and there's a pamphlet about Jesus. I'm like, seriously? Like, what are you trying to say to me right now?
What's the message here?
Well, I'm flipping through it, because I don't mind reading them. I want to know.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And at the end of the pamphlet, there's this little paragraph where it's talking about, at the top of the page said, don't trust your feelings. And I'm like, what? Excuse me? Yeah. Don't trust your feelings, because your feelings will lead you astray. Trust the word. And the word is everything that you know, and you just need to trust that. And I'm like,
interesting.
Excuse me. Aren't your emotions your internal compass?
Yeah.
So when we're talking about things like this, it's like, okay, well, the information that we channel that just kind of gets dropped into our head, it comes through our own filter. Right. But as you're saying what you're saying, and as I'm saying what I'm saying out loud, like the chills, it feels good because it makes sense, and it's a different story that isn't like aggression and my way is better than your way.
Right. So, it just flows. Yeah. Like, I don't fucking know what I'm talking. I don't know. I've studied the theology of the Christian religion, but not of any other church or, religion. I don't know, but I'm picking up on what, out of knowing nothing, this is what I've picked up on, basically. Like, I don't know. Don't shoot me on this.
But it all makes sense.
It makes sense to me. Like, okay, that actually fits a puzzle piece of question. And I think a lot of us have created the stories of the religions in like the pamphlet you're reading. It's like, that to me feels like somebody wrote that out of a lot of fear.
Yeah.
Because they're afraid of whatever's going on in the world or however things are going to be. It's fear-based that the word, and what's the word though? Like, what are they saying the word is? Like,
just drop everything and just trust, whatever is said in the Bible. But it was like, put Jesus on this throne, and you have to go through Jesus to get to God. There was literally 2 pictures in the pamphlet of a chair, 2 chairs, one with a cross on it and one with an S on it. One is for self, one is represented Jesus.
Yeah.
And if you put yourself on the chair, it leads you astray from God. Which in a sense,
well, yeah,
I can understand that.
Yeah. But
I'm like, if you take out Jesus and then you put like love in that chair, and love gets you closer to God.
Right.
I don't know.
Well, what bothers me with a lot of those Christian religions is they worship Jesus. Yeah. They're not worshiping Christ or God. Like, Jesus was the man.
Right.
Jesus was a person like me and you. Why are you worshiping a person?
Well, then, they can go into it. I say they, as in like they're evil or something. Obviously, they are not. Not whatsoever. But a lot of times in the religious communities, the people who are in those religious communities, if there was someone who was praising Buddha or Allah or whatever, like they would condemn them.
And they're doing the same thing though, because like even like my grandma, not that she's gonna listen to this shit, but she talks about Jesus, and I'm like, but Jesus is not Christ. Christ is not Jesus' last name. That is not, like, you're worshiping the prophet. I keep fucking hitting. But I kind of forgot. But they're worshiping the man. So Buddha was a man, and his intention was to promote mindfulness and connection to the everything.
Right.
So Jesus himself was an ascended master, just like Buddha, just like Gandhi, or I don't even know if Gandhi is, but you know what, I'm trying to make a comparison here. But it wasn't until he died that he became the living version of God in a human form.
Because he was able to shift from...
He was no longer Jesus at that point. He was God they became one. In a sense, which he said, we can do this too.
It's like a coming home for him. And that was after he died.
Yes, after he died. And he was physically there in the flesh, and he said, you can do this too. And like that's the part that people don't get, and it's like they're worshiping the man, they're not worshiping Christ. Christ is only the word for Jesus after he became a version of God, like the human version of God.
Like, where did the word Christ or the name Christ come from?
Probably Christos, and I don't know what that means. I have to look it up.
I love when that happens.
Like, what is that? And why do I have Hanson's calling me? I don't see Windows right now.
1-800 Hanson.
Yeah, I know.
Get it done.
I did get my roof from them. They were good. So here's a little
we don't get paid for
commercial. So Christ is the anointed one, Messiah in Greek. So it literally means, okay, so they're saying that basically, oh God, look at this AI picture of Jesus.
Oh,
he looks like such a nice guy, doesn't he?
Like, hey, friend.
Yeah, like, I want to be your friend. Let's do it.
Yeah.
But like, so like, well then that would mean the anointed one. But we also can be anointed with our own relationship with our God, with the whatever God is to you.
Right.
Because it's all the same.
Yeah.
But it's almost like they're trying to say that they have it figured out because they have Jesus. But Jesus hated the Jewish religion. He was against all of that, and he totally, like, that's why they crucified him, because he was like, fuck all of this Jewish shit.
I saw a little meme the other day that I saved to my phone because I'm like, oh my God, yes! And it said, everyone says Jesus died for our sins. He didn't die for your sins. He died because they crucified him for standing up to
their
religion.
Sins. Yeah.
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 So I don't even understand where that came from. That he died for our sins.
It almost feels like it's to make that religion seem like it's more important. That, I have Jesus who died for my sins, so I'm good, and I'm good, I'm saved. And like, it's like, no, actually Jesus died, and yes, he didn't want to die, and he asked, like, he was given an opportunity before that to be like, okay, sorry, like, I'm going to stop doing this. And they wouldn't have crucified him then. Like, they literally said, like, just stop, this is blasphemy, and we won't do anything to you. And he's like, okay, I got to go meditate on this. And he did. Like, he went in the garden and he meditated and he prayed. And they say he prayed, but he was meditating. I mean, that's prayer.
Yeah.
On what to do. And he finally came down to the decision that he just needs to go through with this, because if he doesn't, then nobody will see what's really the problem here. And the problem was how they were practicing the Jewish religion because they turned it into something that it really wasn't anymore.
Right.
And there was these, Pharisees and the hierarchy and all that shit. And he was trying to show them that that is not what God intended any of this to be from the very beginning. And that's why he came, to show us that that is not actually what this was all about. And that's why he got pissed off in the church and threw the chairs and the tables, and, he was against all of that stuff. And he still practiced some of the things and still went to the temple, but it wasn't the same way. And there was even a time where they said, well, you can't go past the curtain. Only a high priest can go past the curtain. And he's like, no, I can't. But they were like, you're not a high priest, so how can you? You will die if you go past that curtain.
Yeah.
And he didn't die. And they're like, oh, well, either he's the chosen one, or it's just a bunch of bullshit and there's really nothing past the curtain, because there really is nothing past the curtain. So, even in year one, they kind of play on that if you've seen that movie.
I love that movie.
And it's because it was all fake.
Mm-hmm.
Because they were trying to scare the people below them to keep them in check and to try to seem like there was actually a hierarchy in all of this, but really there wasn't.
Yeah.
And how can this man come in and do all of this? So then he chose, okay, well then I will be crucified. There was other people that were also crucified when he was, so it wasn't a special thing. That was a common practice.
Which is so incredibly fucked
That's
up,
horrific,
dude.
And that was because of the Jewish religion.
Exactly. And so when I was reading that book, and mind you, it's historically accurate with some parts, because the information that she gathers is from different texts that are available. Yeah. But she goes into each of these characters, and I feel personally like she channeled these people, these individuals, these characters, and I got chills over my legs again, because they were so real, and you felt it. You know? So when she was talking about, and the book, by the way, is Mary Called Magdalene. Sorry.
Oh yeah.
Love that book. Oh my god, I love that book. And I loved it because it showed Jesus as the man. Yes. And I was like, ooh, I want to be his friend.
Yeah, what he was. He chose that to come here to do that in that way and experience all that he experienced. And he came here to live as a full human being.
Yeah. And when it got to the part where the crucifixion, and she was describing there was this other man who was flipped upside down. Yes. And that was because they wanted him to die slower or something like that, and it was a disrespectful thing. They also turned him around so his butt was disgusting and terrible. Yeah. And driving a nail through people on a board and putting them up in the air. Who the fuck does that? That's medieval stuff.
That was common practice, though. That was a regular practice that they did.
Disgusting.
And even the one guy that was in charge of that, I don't remember, didn't even want to do it.
I know who you're talking about, but I can't think of the name right now.
Yeah. I can't remember his name either, but
he was also mentioned in the book about Cleopatra, the memoirs of Cleopatra.
Oh, really?
Because it was
same time,
kind of around the same time period.
Yeah.
So crazy.
Yeah, isn't it? It's he didn't even want to, but he didn't stop it either. But I honestly kind of feel like he knew he shouldn't stop it, because he knew that this was something big.
Right.
That when this does happen, then this is something important. And then when he came back fully human. It was as if he never died.
Right.
But he did. And he, like, there's no way somebody could have survived that. And there's all these people theorizing that, like, well, he really didn't die. And they healed him with frankincense and myrrh and oils and stuff. And I'm like, there's no way that somebody could survive what he went through and then come back looking as healthy as he was and not die of an infection.
Right. You have
of
a
the
stake
wounds.
driven through your feet and you're standing in front of people 3 days later.
And also have been cut in the heart.
Oh.
When they stabbed him here in the heart to see if he was actually dead.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Ew.
So, like, there's no way that somebody could have survived that experience in any way, shape, or form.
No.
And then there's all these stories of that when he came back, what he did, there was quite a big time period from when he came back from that to when he ascended to heaven. There was a big time period.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So they're like, what did he do in between? Nobody knows. It's not recorded. Or it is recorded and we've lost those records.
Okay, so Sarah Breastman Cosme, she studied under Dolores Cannon for QHHT, right? So she wrote the books, A Hypnotist's Journey to Atlantis and From the Trail to the Star People, and a couple other books. And it's her experiences with clients under hypnosis where they're telling stories.
Yeah.
About, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
I'm pretty positive it was one of her books. Might have been Dolores Cannon, now that I'm thinking about it. I don't know. Either way, it was a QHHT session.
Yeah.
And they were talking to a client who she was not married, but she was someone that was in the disciples with Jesus. She was a woman.
Mm-hmm.
But there was a few women that studied like under Mary.
Mm-hmm.
And when Jesus had passed, they were like hiding in this house because like the soldiers were looking for them, and then they ran away to France. They started their own like church, I guess, or like went and lived in this church as became nuns and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But they wrote down, I don't know if they wrote down all of this information that happened to Jesus, like during the time that they were with him and then after he had passed, or if it was somebody else and they just had the books.
Yeah.
But in this regression session, this woman who was claiming to be one of these women in this group said that they took the books and they buried them somewhere where no one would find them.
Oh,
because
interesting.
they were afraid that they were going to die if they had gotten caught with them,
Yeah.
obviously. And the books are still buried. So it's like there are pieces of information, like you were saying,
that we're missing.
Yeah. So crazy. Like,
yeah.
All of these things, like, I just want to know.
I know. It's so crazy. Like, I don't know, like, but that's the thing. None of that is, at least I read books about that stuff, that it's a priest that talks about this stuff, that I'm like, yeah, that he knows what he's talking about. But most of those other, like, not that I'm against the evangelicals and all of that, but a lot of those religions do not go there. And it's out of fear.
Yeah.
And they will say that that's blasphemous or whatever because of that. But it's like, is it though? Because there's missing pieces in all of this, and we're allowed to question.
Yeah, like what happened? What did Jesus do before he was,
That's another missing time period. They don't have that time period of what he did before. Like, there's a very little information about his childhood and what he did before he was in his 30s.
Right. And there's, like, air quotes, evidence that some people say is proof that Jesus went to India, where he learned to meditate and, he traveled
and maybe he did. I mean, who says?
Who knows?
That he didn't have to learn those practices in order to show up in that way.
Right.
Why wouldn't he? Like,
when he's in his 30s, in that time period, he would have had a wife and had a job. I mean, he was a carpenter.
Yeah, he was a carpenter.
But, like, he would have had a wife and a family and all of those things.
Yeah, but they're, like, dismissive that, oh, well, he would never do that. But it's like,
well, why?
Why wouldn't he? His mother was married and had a husband and probably had children post him that they don't, because if that wasn't real, then to them it's not sacred. But it is. Why can't it be just as sacred as anything else? Like, how many saints were mothers and wives and had children and did all sorts of things?
Well, so this is something that I heard about, like, why religion takes, like, Jesus and Mary and separates them. They could have never had a relationship. They could have never, had sex or had kids. What are you talking about? Because they are, like, making it holy to be a virgin, to be untouched, to not have sex because sex is sin, and all of these things. So it's like separating the man and woman.
Yeah.
Again.
Yeah.
Just wild.
It's just ridiculous. I mean, I don't know. Maybe the Virgin Mary really was a virgin when she conceived. I don't know. That whole story, I don't know. I obviously wasn't there.
Maybe.
But maybe that's how he really was conceived, because maybe there was something beyond all of this experience that he had to be conceived that way. But who says she didn't have children afterwards if she was married to Joseph?
Right. He had a brother.
Yeah.
Right? Jesus had a brother.
There's nothing in the Bible about it, though.
In the book Mary Called Magdalene, he had a brother.
Probably.
But then again, it is just a book. But they're all just books.
Right, they're all just books. But like the Bible, there is no record of any family, any relations, or any connections of any sort. It's very, like, just basic. But like when you go into like the disciples that wrote the Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, they talk about, it's mostly parables, but they talk about experiences they've had with him, but they don't talk about personal experiences at all in any of those books. So if there's not even their own personal experiences in there. They're not. It's not about personal experiences, though. It was about teachings on how to show up as a good person. But maybe those books were also altered to take out their personal experiences, or maybe they just didn't put it in there because that wasn't what the intention of the books was about.
Right.
So that doesn't mean that there weren't any personal experience, because that would be ridiculous to think
they're humans,
that they wouldn't, because it doesn't say anywhere in there that either of them were married or had children either.
Right.
But why wouldn't they? They probably did.
So crazy. So there was something else I wanted to talk to you about too. So when you first showed me the soul realignment, which is so incredible.
Yeah.
And we were discussing karma.
Yeah.
Like I grasped it, but I didn't I couldn't put it into practice when I was working with someone to like really understand, and I couldn't articulate it in a way to where I could say it back. Right?
Yeah.
So I listened to Amy Belair's podcast, and it was so crazy. She told this story on her podcast about her son, Killian. And he was premature. He was born. Unfortunately, he was born super, super early, and he passed. And so how she got to become a Akashic Records reader was that kind of like experience catapulted her into a spiritual awakening. She learned all of these things. First time she went into the Akashic Records to ask, like, why did that happen? Why was he just born and then just left us? He was alive for like 2 months or something, I think. And she explained that in the Akashic Records, she saw that he was in a war, in like World War I, I think. And he was like in his late teens or his early 20s. And who his dad was in this lifetime, he was a buddy that was in the war with him. And it was so incredibly bad. She said that they were in this trench for days days or weeks or something, and it just smelled like urine. Everything was cold and wet. People were dying left and right. There was constant bombs going off, like, you know, nothing that anyone wants to experience.
Right.
And Killian, in that lifetime, he took his own life because he just couldn't handle being in that physical experience anymore.
Yeah.
So to complete that karmic cycle, he came back, and his buddy ended up being his dad. But he came back in a way to where, since he took his own life in this lifetime, he probably could have lived for a few years, but it would have been not a life worth living.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? His little heart was giving out. His kidneys were giving. It was just bad. So it's like as if you were trying to keep someone who's brain dead on, you know, a breathing machine or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, it's not worth it. That sounded pretty harsh. Not worth it, but you know what I mean.
It's not worth living, though.
Yeah. So in this lifetime, instead of him taking his own life, he left it up to his parents to let him go and pass. So that's like the finishing of the karmic cycle. And to hear that story really put things in perspective for me for how karma works, because a lot of people don't understand.
No, they don't.
It's just like, oh, if I do good, I get good. If I do bad, I get bad. But it's
way deeper than that.
The scope is so much beyond that.
Yeah, like karma, like I tell people that, you know, karma is literally a result of your choices. It doesn't have a time clock that stops.
Right.
Every choice you make, everything you do it's all resonance. It's all karma. And there are things that you could choose, like he could have decided that I'm not coming back because I don't want to do this, and then ended up having, you know, whatever. But there's a part of us, I feel like, that we have to not give up our will, but allow the will of God to do what is needed because it knows better than us.
Right.
And people are like, I have people that like, well, I didn't do this, and why is this happening to me? I didn't do this. And it's like, it's not happening to you. It's just happening because you chose on some level to experience this on some deeper soul level, and it's not happening to you. It's just happening. And you can choose how to handle it, or you cannot, but it's going to happen regardless.
Right.
And so you just have to let it do its thing.
Yeah.
And it's interesting we were talking about some of that stuff because, like, last week, I woke up because I had this weird dream that there was this man that was, like, trying to get my attention. And he was, like, driving, like, really crazy in front of this house that I was in. And I'm like, I don't know what the hell this guy's doing. And, like, trying to, like, look in my windows and stuff. And I, like, closed the curtains in this, just dream in this house. I don't even know what it is. And then he's at the front door. And somebody in the dream opens the door. And she's like, you're going to want to see him. And I'm like, why? Like, who the fuck is this? And he stands there in front of me. And I'm like, okay, so, like, what is this? And all I remember feeling is, like, there was, like, this unconditional love for me, and I recognized it, but there was also a part of me that's like, I don't even know if I want this from you, and I don't, like, know what this is. And I woke up feeling like, what the fuck is that? Like, that was weird.
Yeah.
And, like, I don't know what you're picking up on it, but...
Well, so I know that in dreams, whether it's a house, a vehicle that you're driving, a boat that you're driving, whatever, something that you're in, that represents, like, you.
Yeah.
Right? So, like, what condition was the house in? Did the house feel safe? You know, what color was it? Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
If that sticks out to you.
Oh, the house was really nice. Like, real fancy, really expensive, really nice house.
Hell yeah. Hey, girl. And so, with the fact that it being a stranger...
But he knew me somehow.
Okay, well, somebody that knows you, but you don't know them.
Yeah.
So an energy that's like unknown to you.
Yeah.
Coming into your space and giving you love.
Yeah.
But you feeling kind of like it's foreboding or like, thanks, but no thanks.
Yeah.
I don't know. That seems very like, it feels like someone from like your past or something coming into your experience, like here now, and just kind of being like, hey, I'm so sorry. I love you. I appreciate you. And you've been like, thanks, but no.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, so, like, that makes sense because afterwards I woke up and I was like, I need to look into this. So I went into the Akashic Records.
Oh, nice.
And it was a past life, and it was somebody from a past, it was a spouse or from a past life.
Yeah.
And I was like, I could feel and see, like, usually when I do the Akashic Records, I don't, like, tap in to see, like, what it is or who it is. Right. But I recognized this person when I went in, and they died because they were reckless. And I was like, oh, and I've never felt whatever the emotion was, I can't even describe what I felt when I went in to clear it. And I had a soulmate contract with this person, and he was coming back to be like, hey, I found you, like, I've been looking for you, like, I found you. And I was like,
so wild.
Yeah, but I'm, like, not that person anymore. Like, we need to move on here. And,
went through lifetimes to find you.
Yeah, that's what I was like, but this is not how this works. But he was almost like, yeah, it's okay. Like, I'm cool with that. Like, I'm sorry. Aww. It's like he said he was sorry. And, like, I had to clear the contract and whatever, because I'm like, it's not because I don't, care or whatever. It's just, you can't have that because that doesn't support life. And like what we're doing moving forward. And I cleared the contract and everything, but I still feel like their energy is still not present, but like supportive.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how else to describe it, but it's not like the same feeling. It's more of just a supportive energy around me now. Like, they don't have to be anything else, but they want to. So I'm like, okay, well, if you want to, that's fine. But you're not forced to because of some contract that we made, like, 32 lifetimes ago when we were, like, 15.
Right.
Like,
but, babe. Yeah.
Yeah, so it was like, okay, that was it. But what you picked up on was exactly right. Like, aww. It was from the past. And I was like, what the fuck is this?
So wild.
It was so weird.
So wild. So, like, it is just, it's so crazy how energy fucking works, though. Because it's like, it's just so wild. So, like, okay, there, like, 2 instances pop in my head. I'm like, pick one, Mandy. Okay, me and Rod, with a group of people, went to New Orleans 2 years ago. 3 years ago. Whatever. We stayed in this old house that was over 500 years old. Fucking gorgeous. It used to be a brothel. It used to be a home a couple different times. It used to be a morgue, and then it was a funeral home.
Oh, wow.
Blah, blah, and now it's an Airbnb.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And so, okay. So we all get there. We're all finding our rooms, blah, blah, blah. We all have, like, assigned rooms that we paid for.
Yeah.
So I'm downstairs, and I have my bags in my hands. And I go to open this door in the living room, and I hear in my mind's eye, no, not that one, miss. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I pick up my bags, and I'm walking towards the front, and I hear this little girl say, up the stairs and to the left. And I'm like, all right. So I go and do that. I go up the stairs, and I go to the first room on the left, and Rod was standing in there.
Uh-huh.
And he's like, hey, this is your room. And I'm like, oh, thanks.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Wow.
So I tell Rod, and then he starts laughing because he's keeping a secret from me, of course. And so we go on about, like, our trip, and we're there for like 5 days. It was fucking remarkable. I cannot wait to go back. So on the third day, I'm sitting up in my room. I just walked around for 8 hours by myself. I was tired. I sat on my bed, was eating some food, and I just wanted to watch a TV show or something before we went out to go do karaoke. And so I'm sitting there, and there's a Fire Stick connected to the TV, and I'm trying to click on Netflix, and the TV, the thing, it just keeps scrolling past all of these TV shows over and over and over, and it won't stop. And I set the remote down, and I'm like, hands up, okay, what is happening here?
Yeah,
Can we just not? Well, eventually it stops, and then I don't even watch TV. I just go downstairs because everyone else came in the house. Well, the next day, it was nighttime. It was nighttime, and the person that cleans the house, she had been cleaning that house for 10 years or something, so she knows the house. And she knows the whole history of the house and blah, blah, blah. So Rod invites her in, and we all gather into the kitchen, and she's telling us what this house used to be, all these different things. She's like, oh, yeah, this house is haunted. And we're all like, oh, kind of, I guess that.
Yeah, yeah.
And she's like, yeah, there are 2 little girls. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
And so the one little girl that I heard in my mind's eye, her name was Jacqueline. Jacqueline. Creole French.
Yeah.
And when I left, it wasn't for maybe a month or so after I came home that the boys were freaked out to be downstairs in their bedroom. We have a bi-level house, so it's not the basement, but it's kind of the basement. That's where my room is now.
Yeah.
And that's where their room was, and they hated being down there. They hated it. So I was like, all right, well, we'll switch. I'll move my room downstairs. I'll switch the art room to your room and, whatever. And you guys can move upstairs next to Christopher. So I move all the furniture, all these things. The room is empty. I'm vacuuming. I have to close the door to vacuum behind the door. And I'm sitting there on the floor winding up the vacuum, and I hear... And I see the door move.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm thinking it's my boys.
Yeah.
It's just me and all 3 of them at home. And so I real sneakily open the door real fast, and then I look down the hallway and no one's there. So I go into the room next to it, look in there, no one's in there. So then I walk up the stairs, and I'm like, hey guys. And then I hear Nicholas in the living room. And he's like, hey Mom. I'm like, where's Case? It's like, he's in our room. I'm like, where's Christopher? And I hear Christopher come out of his room. Hey, Mom. I'm like, was anyone downstairs? No. I'm like, okay. All right. So, later on that night, I'm laying in my bed, and I see her cute, adorable little face. She had to have been 8 or 10 maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And, she's like, I just wanted to see you. I've been looking for my mom.
Oh.
And I'm like, okay. Her and her sister both passed, and her mom passed later.
Oh.
So I feel like they were on different frequencies, so they couldn't quite find each other.
Yeah.
So I helped her cross over.
Mm-hmm.
And when I did that, I just imagined this big, beautiful, white light in the room, and was coaxing her into walking through it. You can find your sister, your mom is on the other side, you're gonna be okay, I'm right here with you.
Yeah.
And as soon as she passed, I can't even explain it. I have chills all over my legs. It was these flashes of all these different scenes.
Yeah.
Just came into my mind's eye and then just completely disappeared.
Because it was her. Yeah.
And now, she comes to me every now and then, but it's not...
She's not stuck.
Yeah, she's not stuck.
Yeah.
And, she makes me so happy. I have chills literally all over my whole body.
Yeah, I can feel it. She's very thankful. She's very grateful for the whole experience and that you helped her. And
very grateful for her.
Yeah.
Because, that was an incredible experience. And to know that, we're not necessarily trapped anywhere because we have free will. However, if you are, really emotional like when you pass, or if you pass so suddenly that you're scared and you're like, what is happening? Where am I? That emotion keeps you stuck in that place. So just like here, it's not until you can get through that emotion, you can work yourself up into higher frequencies by feeling happier or whatever. That's when you can move out of the space.
Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah. I love that. That's so cool.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
She's cool. I was really grateful for that experience.
Yeah. Yeah, I've had a lot of, one time I had an experience that there was a haunted doll.
Oh my God,
and
no.
So this lady, I'm like, do not fucking bring it in my office.
Please don't.
And she didn't, but we had to clear this doll. And this doll, I don't even know what it looks like. I didn't even want to see it. But she said it used to like turn its head and it would blink its eyes. And she's like, she just knew that there was something there. And that one time she said she left it in her trunk in her car for a while. And when she took it out, she's like, it looked mad at me. Like it was mad at me that I left it in the trunk. And so it always had a weird energy to her. It was in her basement. So when she came in one day, I was like, we need to clear it. So we cleared it distance. And it was the fucking craziest experience. Like she was helping me because it was her doll. And I was sitting there. We were doing the clearing. We called in the light and everything. And like we both saw, like physically, there was a white light in the middle of the room that we were clearing. And the doll left. Or not the doll, but whatever was in the doll left the doll, and like we both felt something intensely happen in the room when we were doing it. And then she went home, and she's like, the doll looks different now. It's gone, it's different, and it's been different since then. Like it was fucking weird, and I was like, I don't know how that happened.
Only Megan.
Yeah, only me. Like what the fuck? And I had one time too. I had a lady. She had this teddy bear, and it was fucking possessed, like this bear. And she was on the call with me, and she's like, look at this bear. The eyes are black. The eyes have always been brown. Why are the eyes black? And I'm like, oh God, I don't know if I want to do this right now. And like, it was on a Zoom call, so I like felt like I just grabbed like whatever from the screen, and I grabbed it, and I like threw it out. And whatever it wasn't a person. It was some, I don't know, demonic type thing. But I like fucking threw it, and I scared the shit out of this thing. And I felt like I felt something physically leave. Mm-hmm. And she looked at the bear afterwards, like at the end of the call, and the eyes were brown. And she showed me on the Zoom, like the eyes were brown.
Dude.
Like, what the fuck?
So I'm having to talk to my son, my middle child, about all of these things because it's weird. Like, I don't know. When I feel like, let me trip over myself a little bit more. When you have a certain level of awareness or opening, you know, it's obviously different for everybody. Yeah. But like, so some people are born being awake and being open. And they're very intuitive and see things from the time that they're born. Mm-hmm. Other people, sometimes it happens later on in life, you know, whichever. I feel like it's a progression over lifetimes. Like if you've constantly worked at this one thing, obviously each time that you're born, you're going to be born more awake, more aware, blah, blah, blah. So, but then again, I think there's an aspect to it that's kind of hereditary as well, because like we choose the families that we're in for particular reasons and whatever. Mm-hmm. So that being said, my son, Nicholas, I feel like he is going to have a lot of similar experiences that I do. Mm-hmm. He's already had sleep paralysis once, which is like extremely scary. Yeah. And what he described was so odd and creepy. But it's like I've had to explain to him, why does this happen? Well, he feels energies in rooms. Yeah. Which is why he doesn't like being in certain places in our house, or why he is really, really afraid of the dark.
Mm-hmm.
Because he like sees things out of the corners of his eye, and I have to explain to him like, yes, there are things that we cannot physically see, but it doesn't mean that they can't hurt you. They have no power over you. You know what I mean? But like, how do you tell an 11-year-old that and have them believe like, oh, okay, mom,
right,
I can feel it and I can see it out of the corner of my eye, and you're telling it can't touch me,
right?
So I've been having to explain to him, like, people who are awake and aware and are more open are like a light in a dark room. And so moths, all of these different insects,
they attract to that,
are attracted to the light, and some of them are passed over spirits, some of them have never been incarnated in physical form before. Some of them, we just don't know, but they're all attracted to you.
Yeah.
Good luck, kid. I love you.
Yeah. That's literally what it is.
It's a wild concept to grasp yourself, but to explain to other people. So, like, what's your take on that?
Just having that whole experience with that, or the sleep paralysis, or everything.
Everything.
Well, literally we are. We're a light in the darkened room, so those things are attracted to us. And like, I tell my kids this stuff too, and they're comfortable with it, because I've taught them, like, you have Reiki. Like, I taught them Reiki, so they have that. So I tell them, like, that helps. And to, like, call in your guides and your angels to assist you, and to remember that, like, it all exists. It's just on places or planes that we don't necessarily are, like, they're not physical, but they all exist.
Right.
And it just happens. Like, there's nothing to be afraid of. It's real. And it's not necessarily bad. It just is.
Right.
And there's, like, it's just going to happen. Like, regardless, because you're awake and you're aware. But there's also a level of, like, is it good or bad?
The discernment.
Yeah, so I always tell them, like, you just ask, like, truth, if you're negative. Like, are you negative? And they're like, well, I just heard something say yes. Okay. All right, well, get the fuck out of here. But like, they recognize that, like, and they're like, well, I'm just not going to be scared of it, because I have, like, to them, Reiki is like not God, but it's like their thing. They're like, every single thing that's ever a problem in life, can you do Reiki on it?
I love that.
And, like, even, like, if there was a neighbor kid that she was upset about something, and they're like, can you do Reiki on her? She needs help. Can you Reiki her?
Oh.
And, like, at school, like, the kids are like, yeah, this kid was whatever, upset or whatever, and I just did Reiki on it and it went away.
Like,
so,
you're girls. That is so cool.
So, like, I think that, like, for our family, like, but maybe your son, if you taught him some Reiki, would help him to recognize that there's a power beyond him that does support and does assist and does help him.
Yeah.
Because they're, like, it is scary. Like, when I was a kid, it was terrifying because nobody believed me. And it was like, okay, my bed fucking shakes and something's poking through my mattress, and I have a box spring and I don't know how it's poking through. And, like, other weird stuff. And it was like, I finally, like, recognized, like, okay, obviously this is real, and I can just, without a doubt, feel there's something there, and I need to just figure out a way to work around it. And your son's sensitive to it, but I think he also could learn, and, like, even other people that are sensitive to this that are maybe listening, is, like, pushing your energy out.
Yeah.
And, like, making sure that you are very clear with your boundaries. And if it feels really uncomfortable to be in that space, you could leave. But if it's your own home, well, maybe you should tell it to leave, because it's your home and your space.
Right.
And you shouldn't feel uncomfortable in your own space.
Right.
And it's like there's a heart thing where you sit there and you just visualize that you're pushing out the energy from your heart, pushing it out really, really big, all the way out into the room. And that within that, all energies that are not supportive, clear, all of that.
I need to work on that a little bit more.
Yeah.
Show him to do that
as
well.
And like that I'll do in rooms when I clear rooms a lot because like my husband, which is not my office, but he used to have like this little
I don't know why it's connected.
I don't know, mine does it too. But like my husband was in this room. Sorry, getting all these texts. It was like a dad room, and I was like walked in there and I'm like, it's fucking weird in here, dude. You need to clear this shit. And he's like, yeah, I feel really uncomfortable, and I know something stares at me when I sit in here. And I'm like, okay.
Ew.
So I went and sat in the room, and I put like music on or whatever just to set the tone for myself. And I sat there for a few minutes, and I just visualized that my heart was expanding and opening, and I think I like chanted Om, maybe, just because it helped me to open up that space.
Yeah.
And I sat there for a few minutes, and I breathed for a minute and just visualized white light, and then I finally felt like it settled and shifted, and then I walked out of the room and I said, we'll go see what it feels like, because I was just in there, so it's hard to decipher. Like, you gotta walk out and walk back in.
Right.
And he walked back in and he's like, this is a very significant change. Thank you. Like, he didn't believe me at that point, but he's like, that was fucking crazy.
Yeah.
So, like, maybe teaching your son, like, practicing, like, harnessing his own power and pushing it out for his own big bubble.
Yeah.
Because he is very sensitive, and I see things like, not enticing, but like kind of like, hey, I know you can hear me. And like almost like touching him.
So, okay. So in our home, well, this was in multiple homes. In our line.
Yeah.
With me, Christopher, and Nicholas.
Yeah.
There was always something, right? So I started having sleep paralysis when I was 14, and it was never a face. It was always a big black, smoggy, misty thing that would like come over me and like try to like it was just trying to like be on top of me, and I would have to like shake in my mind's eye while I was sleeping to get out of it. But I remember when I was 22, I was either pregnant with Nicholas or I just had him, and Christopher had his own bedroom like right down the hall from me. And Christopher started having the hardest time sleeping, and he wouldn't want to be in his room. And then finally one night I was laying in my bed, he was sleeping in his bed. I finally got him to go to sleep, and he woke up screaming. And so I ran into his room. Well, he was also the one that had the night terrors, like I told you, when he was like 10 months old, 8 months old. So he was screaming. I woke up, I ran into his room, and he's shaking in his bed, petrified. And I'm like, what is wrong? And he's like, he couldn't talk. So when I finally got him to talk, he explained that there was an old woman who had like straw-y hair, who would come and visit him at night while he was sleeping and like sit on him and scream in his ear, go to bed.
Oh.
Yeah, like disgusting. So that kind of dissipated over time a little bit. Like over the next year or so, we moved a couple times since then. But when Nicholas, the baby at the time, was like 2 years old, we moved into this house in Ferndale with Brandy, and Brandy felt it.
Oh.
And actually, before we moved in, me and her were talking on the phone, and she was like, I was telling her about like a bad dream that Christopher had or something, and then she tapped into this being, this whatever the fuck this is, and she started describing her to me, and I'm like, yeah, it's the same exact description that Christopher told me. And she's like, yeah, it just feels disgusting and like icky, and like she's like sucking the life force out of him, you know? Well, now that Nicholas is about to be 12, last year was the first time that he ever had sleep paralysis. And when he described it to me, he was laying on the couch in our living room, and we have like a duvet. It's not a duvet. It's a, what do you call it? Like the bed thing. It kind of looks like a bed, but it's attached to the couch. He's laying there.
Oh, yeah.
In front of the TV. The TV was off. And he said that he woke up laying in the living room on the couch in the same spot. He could not move. He could not scream, blah, blah, blah. From where he was laying up to the TV is like maybe 5 feet. And he said there were skeletons lined up all alongside him. And the TV came on and there was a big giant pair of eyes in the TV staring at him. And he's like, and I obviously couldn't move or anything, but he's like, I shook until I woke up.
Yeah.
You know? So I'm like, definitely feel like it's all connected.
Yeah, there definitely is. Like, my husband has had some really fucked up sleep paralysis stuff happen to him. Like, I have never had it.
Thank God.
Like, I'll have dreams. Like, last night, I kept waking up. And I'm like, I gotta fucking do the demonic clearing. I gotta do it on Lily. Like, what the fuck? Why do I need to do it on Lily? But, like, I'll have dreams where I am clearing stuff and yelling at things, but I wake up yelling. And I'm like, oh, shit. Like, I've woken myself up yelling, get the fuck out of here! Like, yelling at something, but there really
you're
was...
a badass even in the other
I know, I'm like doing Reiki on stuff over there. I'm like, what the fuck? No fucking with me anywhere here. But my husband's like had some weird shit happen like that. And like it's always to him feels like it's something very negative, either demonic, but then he has a theory that it's somehow alien related too. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, I don't know. Like I just heard it's the Greys. They're not good.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I've never had that happen, but I think it's like...
Father Joe would like to talk to you.
Who's that?
The priest that's out here.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's been listening to you, and he is not happy.
Really?
No, I'm screwing with you.
Oh, God! Oh, God. Like, wait, I don't want to piss off a priest. I feel bad. Like, I'll talk to him. But, no, there's, like, it's these... Like, they get in, and they're, like, it's almost like when I'm tapping in, they're finding, they're like, almost like doing something with a gland in your brain that makes you have these experiences, and they want to see how we react to them.
That...
I've never heard that. I don't know how that just came out of my mouth right now. Like, what the fuck was that? What the fuck is that?
Well,
that was a weird thing to channel.
Okay, so there's a piece of that's like, there's this documentary that I watched a couple years ago, and it was all about alien abductions, and it was in the small town in Alaska. And all of these different people in this small town had all of these different alien abductions happen, and they were telling their story and like what happened, but it would happen over and over and over again. Well, at the very end of the movie, they were like, it's not science backed, you know, it's not a proven fact that blood has anything to do with it. However, is it a coincidence that all of these people in this documentary are Rh negative blood?
I'm Rh negative.
Me too.
Yeah.
So
that's weird.
That is really weird. Hey, girl.
Yeah.
15% of the world's population.
I know. Like, what the hell?
I don't know. So it's because Sarah Breast-Spin Cosme even goes into this, into like bloodlines and, you know, what the different types are.
Yeah.
And all of these different things. And it is said that like Rh negative, air quotes, is not technically from here, even though I think we're all hybrids of aliens.
Yeah, there is something with the Rh negative, and especially like I'm AB.
Oh, really?
Which is extremely rare, but to be AB negative is like, I think it's like 2%.
Yeah, it's extremely
or something
rare.
Of the population, and I'm like, how the fuck did that happen? Like, I think my grandma on my mom's side is, and my dad's dad also was AB negative.
Oh, really?
So I'm like, okay, there's something with, but I don't know what it means. I've heard that it was like a different tribe, but I don't know where they came from, but it's a newer blood type. Like, it's new. Like, O is the original, and then A came, and then B came, and then the AB is the newest.
So when I channeled the information, like, from Jesus.
Right. What? Yeah.
So this was, like, one of the first podcast episodes I made. I think it was the second one. When I was going, like, weeks and weeks and weeks where I was, like, getting all these different pamphlets and all these different people coming up to me and they're all talking about Jesus. And I'm like, what? What do you want? What, you know? Like,
yeah.
Okay, let's do this then. And before I went to sleep, I, like, went to my place and was just kind of setting up shop there and assuming, like, you know, if it's meant to be, if I meant to talk to the man, like, it'll happen. But it was, like, instantly, and he was there, and he was not very thrilled with, like, it's hard to explain. Like, he was relaying information, not about why I was receiving all those pamphlets and everything, but he was saying, if I can try and remember, that he is the original blood type, which didn't make any sense to me at the time because I'm like, O is the original blood type, right?
Right.
I'm O negative. He said that he was AB negative, but because A and B are the, like, original like, AB is the original inhabitants of Earth, but the negative aspect was the, like, crystalline frequency that came in, like, the energetic formation or the energetic body of that being changed the proteins or something in, like, the blood. I don't know what it was. It made some type of physical impact with the blood. But, yeah, I forgot where I was going with that. I don't know. He said that he was AB negative. So, there was, like, the fact that he was a human, like an actual physical person, but there was, like, he was a multi-dimensional being as well, because he was able to reach these higher levels of frequency because he was meant to be on this path. So it was like he was taking the A blood and the B blood, not him personally, but God, whatever, the A blood and the B blood, and putting them together, but also including this, like, divine crystalline frequency, which is the RH negative, and bringing it together with him. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. It does. Like when I've channeled, like, with Jesus before, it was like, I'm going to see if I can pick up anything right now, because sometimes it'll just come right through.
Yeah.
Like, all I'm getting is, like, there's a crown. I don't know what that means. They whenever I try to channel it, they put a crown on my head. I'm like, what is that? What is that supposed to mean? I don't know if it just means, like, connection to higher or whatever. I see that, and they're just, like, I can see the two lines of energy, like the Ida and the Pingala, like, coming through and, like, connecting into me, like, but it's like they're almost showing, like, to get to him like that, like, you're trying to go to him instead of him coming to you. You have to go through different steps. I don't know what that, I've never heard of this before. I'm like, what is happening right now? Okay, so then what do we do? And then the cat just, like, popped in, like, hey, Not like he's over there. Like I just saw him like in my face. Like, hey,
girl. Yeah.
Like, okay, what are we doing here? And then they're just showing me like this. I don't even know how to describe what this thing is. It's just like a oval shaped thing in front of me, and it's like any questions you have the answers are all in here. So I don't know if that's just like the divine wisdom or whatever, but like any questions you have access to them all right here. It's just that not everybody goes there to look.
Okay.
So. And then I guess I didn't specifically ask to talk to Jesus, so maybe I should.
I have the.
No, he just shows me my hands.
Mm-hmm.
He's showing hands, and he's like going like this, like pointing at my hands. Like you already have it. So I don't know what that means, other than we already have it. You already have it.
I have what I wrote down after I had that experience. I just found in my notes.
Oh, well then let's do that. Yeah, let's do that.
So, and then I'd really love to get your take on that and like what comes through to you.
Okay.
So, he said, Jesus' people are the original inhabitants of the earth. There are 3 other inhabitants of the earth besides the original earth people. One of them being the leg of the Vegas, which is Pleiadian, Andromedan, Spica, and another one. His original people of Earth are draconian in a way, but not the negative draconian. The other leg is from galaxies or planets that have been destroyed by war or are no longer inhabited, so they came here to Earth to have a physical experience.
Yes, that I'd come up before. Not to interrupt, but that's come up before.
Yes.
Okay.
The negative net was put around the Earth and was brought here because of people like me who came through a Stargate and created negative karma against his Earth people on accident. And therefore, we are stuck here playing out our karmic patterns until the negative net has dissipated, and then we can all go wherever we would like to go, I guess. The only way to allow that to happen is for us to come together in love and connection and vibrate at a higher frequency in order to make the net completely disappear. This negative net has taken over people of the RH negative bloodline that have close ties to this negative net because they are closest to the Earth's vibrational frequency, closest to the bloodline of Jesus. They are the AB negative bloodline. Basically, he was saying it was our fault because of those of us who came here through the Stargate, because we opened up the portal and let the negative entity or energy in that acts like a parasite that has come here to draw on energy from all 4 of the different types of energetic beings that inhabit Earth.
Okay, so that makes sense to something else I saw, and I don't know if it was you I was telling or somebody else, but when I was supposed to be getting a reading for myself, I saw this.
I feel like this happened off.
It does! But I do have a question for you after this off thing, because I need help with something. That I won't read it myself, I promise. But I saw the Earth, and that this was supposed to be the place to inhabit, and there was other places that were fine, like part of, I don't know what you say, Jesus, God, or whatever, like, the real one. The real God that wanted us to exist, not the deities that chose to create other ones and stuff.
Right.
And there was a portal was created that we made from our protective barrier that's letting the negative stuff in. Mm-hmm. And it's gotten worse. And right now it is completely open and it's sucking in like a black hole into our frequencies.
Yeah.
So that makes sense to what you got in there to what I'm getting. And I'm like, I don't know where I got, like, where I have that information. Where did that come from? But that makes sense. It confirms what I already fucking saw. And then you didn't even know about that, and you're getting it too. Like, what the fuck? You can't make this shit up.
That is so wild.
Like,
so, like,
what the fuck?
Like, real quick side note, back to the sleep paralysis thing. I was talking to Nadia, and she experiences sleep paralysis too. Right?
Really?
She's an energy worker.
Yeah.
And so when I had conversations with her about this, because it's getting to the point where it's just, like, fucking annoying when it happens.
Right.
Because, I'm like, stop. Like,
yeah.
What are you doing? When I talked to her about it, she was like, I feel like the days that I really, really help like truly help someone, with the energy work or with whatever, that's when it happens.
Really?
And it's like, okay, so there's a hole in this barrier that we have that's sucking everything in.
Yes.
And so these negative things come here to try to keep this net suctioned around
Yes.
the earth to keep us at a low frequency or
Yes.
low vibration. So it's like they're trying to dim our light while we're sleeping.
Yes.
Because we are in energetic form.
Yeah.
In the astral plane at that
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe that's the part of the brain gland that I saw them
Right.
touching to keep us in this state so that we can't wake up.
Right.
Because it's also a physical thing that happens when we're in sleep paralysis that they have said it is something to do with the way that the REM cycle is processing.
Yes, I read that.
But that would be a gland in the brain. I don't know if it's the thalamus, because that's what regulates your sleep and wake cycles.
Okay.
But there's something with that would make sense. Why, like I see this thing like touching it, and then these other things are coming in around it. And it's almost like they're putting the pause button on you.
Stay down, tiny human.
Yeah. Yeah. Which is really weird. I've never had it happen to me though, and I'm like, I hope it never does. But it has happened to my daughter, my youngest, and my husband before. And it happens to my husband quite often. And he said the only thing when it's happened to him that made it stop immediately was when he said the Our Father.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That is wild.
So I'm like, well, then maybe there's something.
Well, then you go back to what was said
Jesus.
in the notes with Jesus. He's like, these are my people. You guys fucked this up. You need to come in here and clean this shit up.
So you ask for their help, and he comes. And
Yeah.
that was the only thing that made it go away.
That is wild.
So I'm like, okay, that makes sense. But then I'm thinking, like, is that why it doesn't happen to me? Is it because I'm AB negative? Like,
right.
or did it happen in that other study? Was it happening to people that were AB negative though?
Well, RH negative, they didn't say.
But they didn't say if it was AB, just
Yeah.
RH. So like, I don't know, but like, I mean, I don't know, like. It's just weird. Like,
I wish that they would take into perspective when they're documenting things like this, like legit everything about the person down to their blood type. Because
yes,
you think that it doesn't make a difference?
it does.
It does.
It
That
does.
is your DNA.
Yes. Or like maybe there's certain other aspects in the DNA that make them more susceptible to things. Like,
Right.
I don't know, like I had my DNA done through my naturopath, and like I have a book on my DNA.
What?
Of like all my shit, like what I should eat, how I should, like all the stuff.
You need to give me that information.
Yeah, that was fucking awesome. So I have that, and I'm like, oh, I should probably eat some ricotta cheese because that's a big plus for me. Like, I can eat all the Italian foods because I can eat pasta. I don't have a gluten problem, and ricotta and Parmesan cheese are like, yes, eat the fuck out of those, Megan. So I'm like, okay, I can do this.
I can do it. Oh yeah.
But like all of those factors, does that have a correlation to also your psychic sensitivity?
Right. Right.
And how capable you are. Like you already, like maybe you already have a preconceived disposition of having this, and then you work on it, and then it makes it even more powerful versus somebody that doesn't already have the natural ability but works on it and also can do it, but it's not as good as somebody that actually has the natural ability and works on it. They're going to be amplified.
Right. It's like an onion. Just like anything in the spiritual realm. It's like a fucking onion.
Yeah.
Because there's so many layers to, like, well, you could be this, but then if you worked on this through many lifetimes, then you're at, air quotes, this level, even though it's not really like that.
Right.
But then you're this blood type, so you're kind of not really ever going to get quite there, but, like,
yeah. Yeah.
It's just, it's so crazy.
Yeah.
And amazing. It's so crazy.
It is so weird.
Wow.
We touched on a lot.
We did.
So maybe we should wrap it up.
Yeah.
And we'll have to do this again because that was fucking awesome.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you. I have Brandy from Brain Flowerz. It'll also be on her podcast. And then this is obviously me with Soul Currents.
Yes, Megan for Soul Currents. I'm Mandy. Nice to meet you guys. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you all.
Thank you so much, my friends, for sharing your time, space, and attention. If you like what you heard, please feel free to share with your friends, like, subscribe, comment, and leave a review. As always, I offer Akashic readings, tarot readings, energy readings, Reiki sessions, and QHHT sessions. If you're interested in booking a session with me, either online or in person, please feel free to visit my website, lemonsageandlavender.com. The energy exchange of your time and attention mean the world to me. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And as always, I root myself in wonder. I open myself to bloom. I trust the journey of thought. Now get out there and blossom, my friends.